Hi everyone, I'm Tina, and today I'm going to be talking about my log entry number 4. And first, I'm going to talk about some things that I have been interested in throughout learning from the course, or what I've learned so far, some parts that strike me, some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with, and then a couple questions at the end. So, some interesting things that I've learned. So, a new definition would be interdisciplinary art. I didn't really know what that meant before, but now that we talked about it, it's just basically when you add different branches of art and you kind of combine them, and it kind of gives like a different form of art. It's just using everything else. Also, like the difference between propaganda and art, because from our discussion, a lot of people mentioned how the difference between propaganda and art is that propaganda can seem more closed-minded. It's like giving you it's trying to persuade you into thinking one way, whereas art is kind of just letting you take your own interpretation of what the art is. So there's more freedom when it comes to art compared to propaganda, and there's a difference between it, and how we talked about themes and how there are some harmful themes and how those themes can be portrayed either as propaganda or in art or maybe in between. It depends. So some parts that strike me. So one part that struck me a lot was the theme of the Karen app. Like, I know a lot of people, including myself, literally did not know what the theme of the Karen app performance was, because a lot of us were kind of too focused on like how weird it, like, not weird, but like very uncomfortable it was. But I think that was supposed to like make us feel uncomfortable, to really showcase how invasive the digital world can be. And it kind of shows like, hey, like you're letting everyone like you are letting these apps know all this information about you, yet you are feeling uncomfortable when a person's there. Well, it's the same thing, right? So it kind of like shows like how the digital world is so invasive, and how that invasion of our privacy can make us uncomfortable. I also like the conversation about how we were talking about the small little negative themes that we noticed in the media, and like what the characters that we're supposed to like, and it shows more in depth of like themes and small little things that we don't really know. Because I know we talked about, like, I forgot what it was, but like we talked about like in groups, like everyone had their own group, and we had to like find a movie that had like a little theme of it that we didn't really know of, but it was still there, but it wasn't like the main theme. And that kind of shows like there are small different themes that are with the things that we watch and the things that we consume. So some things I agree with and some things that I don't. So I do agree with John Cage. I think he was the one who mentioned it, was how nature does go beyond us, and life is more interesting than man-made structures, and that nature is not really logical. Because, like, personally for me, I do believe in a greater power. I do believe that there's a universe, and I do believe that nature is greater than humans in general. Like, nature is going to be logical. There are going to be bad things happening, there are going to be good things happening, and you kind of just got to accept it. You kind of just got to go with the flow and just let that happen, because that's the way nature intended it to be. You have to go with both the bad and good. So some things that I don't necessarily agree with. I know that Brench, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he mentioned how, like, his ideologies of that, like, your decisions, are because of the culture that you grew up in, including race, class, and religion. And plus, he didn't really believe in psychology, which, for me, because I'm a psych major, I kind of disagree with that in those things, because he didn't really believe how like your childhood trauma or how you were raised affects you. That he basically kind of said that if you want to be happy, change your status, whether it's if you're coming from a lower income status. If you change it, you'll be happier. Personally, I don't believe in that. I believe that happiness kind of comes from within. It doesn't come from external things that you have to change. It's more of an internal thing. That's personally what I believe. So I don't necessarily agree with what he says. But yeah, that's basically it. And then I do have one question, is that can't we say that propaganda can be considered an art depending on how you view it? Because technically art is subjective. So can't we say that propaganda is an art? That is the question. But yeah, that is it for my log entry, and yeah, that's it. Bye.